Whoop, 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 whoop. Okay, I think. Wow. Man. Let's see if I can fix that. I have no idea what happened. All of my settings got messed up, and then I tried to update the drivers and a couple of other things, and then I tried to go into NVIDIA and see if it was a problem in there, like maybe it wasn't playing well with others or something. I don't know. I'm pretty sure I am live. I'm pretty sure it is running. I'm pretty sure it is working correctly. Connection seems good. Okay. As far as I can tell, we're up and running. I don't know what that was about. I wanted to start at 5. And then, like, issue after issue after issue kept coming up. And it wouldn't let me do what I thought that it should let me do. So, like, that was weird. Like, I've had this set up pretty decently for a while now. And, yeah, I don't know what happened. That was bizarre. Like, it really was. Let's fix this. Man. As far as I could tell, I had to really go in and mess with a lot of systems, and I had to customize the stream. I really don't know what happened, but it really messed me up and set me back hard, because this was supposed to be up at 5. Not that this is going to kill us or anything like that, but like, this was supposed to be a much smoother operation. And then because whatever happened, and it changed up some of my settings, I think my bitrate is now off. I'm trying to remember, was I running at 5800 or something like that? Now I think I'm running at like 30. I don't remember. I think I'm moving it. I think I'm moving at like 3000 now, and I was running at like 5800, and so I'm gonna have to go in, and I don't know what happened. But it seems like I'm up and running. Yeah, like, I don't know. I had to update the drivers, and then I had to go in and change my stuff, and I had to set it to run directly through NVIDIA, which normally isn't a problem. That's normally not a thing that we deal with. I've had this set up for almost a year now, and then I turned it on today, and I mean, everything was blank. Like, as if I just downloaded this today, everything was blank. And it wasn't even a new version. It was even asking me, hey, would you like to download the newest version? And I was like, no, I'm going to do a stream. I'll do that tomorrow. Just let me in. And I hit the button, and then everything was blank, and I was like, oh no. What happened? I was like, oh crap. But yeah, that would be right. So that all being said, at least we're here. At least I got it working, and I will work out the bugs and kinks for the next one of these, because I have no idea what happened. And I have a feeling a lot of my video settings and whatnot are wrong. But as far as I can tell, I got everything set back up from memory, so we seem like we're running. We're off to the races at the very least. So let me at least get this thing started, because today we are starting off either... That's a possibility. Or that's a possibility. And then I'm just going to put that in like that and see how that works. bam, there. At least that's up and running and things are off to the races and so on and so forth. What a mess. Just got off work, huh? That's nice. It's good to be off work. Like, literally. Hey, what's going on? What? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I saw that it's her birthday. Yeah, no, I got that. I was wondering if you were going to be doing something tonight, actually. I'm fine, as far as I can tell. I don't know what happened. Like, I've had this set up to the point where I just click on it and basically I'm off to the races and there we go. I will say, for a small news update, I got Tigra. There's going to be a video coming out that talks about the fact that I got Tigra and I test her joints live. And so here's the broken one. The new Tigra is on the shelf. And I have bad news about the new Tigra. And I'm a little confused about my bad news. So I'm on a couple different, like, Facebook groups and things like that. And one of the groups that I'm on specifically seems to have the brand manager who's been working on Frazetta Icons. And I said, well, that's about the best confirmation I could ever get. Because he said, hey man, when he saw my last video, he commented on a couple of my videos now, because I cover a lot of the Frazetta stuff, and I guess I talk enough Frazetta that somehow I must have got his attention. I don't know how, I'm not a big channel, but I know he has been directly in chat, and he has spoken directly to people. Like, I've had a couple people get on a couple of my videos where I'm discussing a Frazetta Icons figure, and they'll be like, I refuse to buy Frazetta Icons because they lied to me, blah, 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 or whatever. And he has been directly on my YouTube videos going, when did I lie? Tell me when I kill streak call you out, man. And so he did. And I did this video, and I talked about the fact that Tigra broke. And he said, get a hold of Frazetta Icons. They will take care of you. And I was like, well, if he's telling me to do it, that makes sense. So I go and I go to Frazetta Icons and I put the message in and I left my email and everything. And I said, hey, this is the situation. She broke. It sucks. I really love the line. And I was nothing but courteous about it. I wasn't like, oh, yeah, my stuff broke. I very blatantly went in and said, hey, I love the line. I'm a big fan. I've collected every single thing you've released so far. This is the only one I've ever had trouble with. She broke, yada, yada, this and that. These are my videos. If you want confirmation, I'm not trying to scam anything, yada, yada. And I waited. And I waited. And I waited. And then I started getting a little panicked. They weren't getting a hold of me. And they ran out of stock. So currently they're taking lists for, like, you can go onto Frazetta Girls and be like, hey, I want this. And they're like, we'll tell you when it's back. So they'll put you on an email list to let you know when you might be able to pick one up, when they might come back in stock. And I'm like, if they have none, and they're just waiting, like, hey, if we do another run, you can get one. I was like, if I wait and she disappears, and especially with prices going up right now, this could really bite me in the ass. So I just said, all right, well, I'm doing it. And I took the extra money that I had this time, and I was like, Tigra. And I bought Tigra. So I got her. I got Tigra. She's replaced. She's back on the shelf. She's in perfect condition. Both of her knees are fine. She does, however, feel tight compared to Vampirella. They had to have been, because I know people are like, well, there's still reuse, like they reuse the legs and they reuse the arms. I don't know if they're just incredibly similar or if they are reuse on Vampirella, because I can tell you this does not feel the same. Like, this does not feel the same. I can feel this pop with every movement. Like, every single one of them. It doesn't happen with Vampirella the same way. And her arms don't feel as tight on the Vampirella figure. And her movement doesn't feel as tight on the Vampirella figure. And now I've had a second one of these. And the second one seems like she feels a little bit better than mine. Like, because this one has always felt very tight, like something was wrong. Like, I've always been worried she's going to break, and she did. Well, then I got the new one, and the new one does feel better, but still does not feel as good as the Vampirella figure. So this is a line that is learning, and sadly one of their learning curves seems to have come from Tigra. I guess that's the nature of the beast. So we are currently looking at Barbarians, and DC Multiverse is tying right now. So we're just going to basically do a breaker here. So I should have moved the microphone. This is awkward. There. We'll run this. I'll do a breaker for these two, and then we'll go on from there. Am I getting a comment? What's this? No, not a big deal. Let's see. What does this do? Bink. I know. Yeah, man. That really did surprise me, though. To have him specifically say, go there, we'll take care of you. They will take care of you. Like, I was like, oh, man. I couldn't have got a more direct go tell them, and nothing. They never got a hold of me. Maybe they'll get a hold of me later. Maybe I was just impatient. But I was worried, man. I was worried for sure. Because, look, she's already up to $90. And prices are going up. And I'm like, if I wait, this could really bite me. Oh, this will be interesting. Oh, you... Okay. Either way this goes, this will be interesting. I do have a couple Barbarian figures that have been set to the side for a while. A couple that are very cool, actually. And, of course, DC Multiverse got a mild restock. We were at the point where DC Multiverse wasn't even going to make it into another one of these. We had basically killed it off. And now I think there are 3 figures? I think I have 3 DC Multiverse left to unbox before that's completely off the list until we have another restock of figures. But it looks like Barbarians is going to win this, so I'm going to call it and then get this one ready. Hey, what's going on, man? Because I know we have... we'll call this what it is. Move! Get my damn way! Do that. Or... that. Yep, I was right. Bam! Those are the 3 that are currently sitting off to the side right now. And let's see what's going on in here. Hey, man, what's going on? No, you did not miss any figures yet. I started late. For some reason, I had a technical problem, and I could not figure out what was going on. All of my data messed up, and for some reason, the stream was not starting, and I could not figure out what was causing it. And I had to do like a driver update and everything. And then even still, I couldn't get it until I went in and I had to customize every setting one at a time and just do a custom direct stream because I couldn't do the other. I've been doing one where I link this program directly to my YouTube account, and then this kind of acts as a talking point between the two. But here I set everything up like I normally do, and I hit the button and it just said unable to do the video process, check the log. And then it said something about having needing an update for the driver. And so I updated the drivers and it still wouldn't work. And I had to go in and do a complete custom restart. So as Seth says, I just started. And yeah, that's, yeah, I have no idea what was going on, man. Usually I arrive late, end up missing 2 whole figures. I get that. Oh, let's see what's going on here. Hey, Bill, did you see Hasbro has completely made all pre-orders completely unavailable? Big Bad Toy Store did the same thing before the 9th as well, most likely because of... Really? Okay, so I did not know this. I had heard that certain toy lines were going on hold. Some of them are literally closing their doors, like they're done until further notice. And a couple of them I've noticed have held off, and they are stopping all orders that are coming in. I saw that that's happening. But I did not realize that Hasbro was one of them. In fact, I got an email from Hasbro just a couple days ago that said that my pre-orders were locked in. They said your pre-order price is locked in, guaranteed because you ordered before the 9th, and maybe that was part of what this is. And so I don't know if that was just them stopping the pre-orders. So maybe they told a bunch of other people, hey, you didn't get in here before the 9th. You can't pre-order. And then maybe the other ones that already had certain things locked in got a different email or something. So I'm not sure. But what I got was an email that specifically said my Sentinel and Dragon Man, they're locked in. And I was like, I mean, I figured they would be. And then I read it a little further and it was like, your price is locked in, yada, yada. So my guess is that people that ordered before a certain time, they're going to eat it. They're going to eat the cost of whatever this is and get those out there. But other figures, if what you're saying here is true, other figures that were about to go for pre-order or whatever are not going to be guarantees, or they're going to be basically first come, first serve at the tariff cost. That's my guess as to what you're talking about, but I have not had a chance to look into that. I didn't even know it was a thing until you just said that. Do I watch any Netflix shows lately? No. No, not at all. In fact, I just finished Azumanga Daioh because my kid had never seen it and she wanted to watch it, so I watched it with her. And then before that, I watched all of Gantz, and I just finished Enterprise. No, sorry, I'm about to finish Enterprise. I got 6 episodes left on Enterprise, and I will have finished that entire run through again. And then I am currently waiting for the new Strange New Worlds, and I think, after all this time, I have the Thundercats DVD box set. That might be the next show that I watch after the show I'm currently watching, because me and my wife pick like a don't have to think about it funny sitcom for like days when we work. Like if she works a double, which like tonight she works a double. That's the reason we're streaming, is because I'm kind of doing something that also kind of pays off and everything in the same way. And then she's doing her stuff. What I'm doing right now is we are currently watching, on the days that we work like this, we're watching Superstore. And then after Superstore, we will pick another show. And I'm really thinking about watching the Thundercats because I have never watched it. I've never seen a single episode. Ever. Not ever. But it feels like it would be right up my alley, except for the fact that I don't necessarily like animal men or people or whatever. But, like, I don't think that's going to bother me. I think that there's very much going to be enough there for me to, like, sink my teeth into in terms of stuff that I like. Okay, we're at 5 minutes. All right. Netflix revealed a show called Internaut. Eternaut? I don't know how to say that. It's based on a comic from where I live in 1957. It's a post-apocalyptic sci-fi show set in my city in this year. It's incredibly good. I have heard that there's a new show that people are watching right now. If you go to the site and app, everything that's a pre-order is marked as temporarily unavailable. Oh, man. Okay. I am going to cross my eyes. I'm going to cross my eyes. I can't even do that. But if I could, I would cross my fingers and my eyes for you on that one, because I don't want you to miss that Sentinel. Like, I locked that Sentinel in and then immediately went and did a video talking about it and was like, look, I'm buying it. I was like, I can justify the price. I don't have a Sentinel. This is kind of a dream for me. And it's very much fits an art style that I grew up with. This is my Sentinel. I can't wait. And then I was like, I was ready. I was all in. So, man, that would suck to get an email that says, not anymore. So I'm hoping for you. I didn't know they were like deadlocking stuff right now. I had no idea that was going on. Should be getting my TMNT 35th anniversary 5-pack from NECA soon. Just got the email for end of production and should be shipping soon, hopefully within the next month. Those are those ones. Is that the one that comes with the fire? Or whatever. It's like the Four Turtles and Splinter, but Splinter's like blue because he's the fire effect at that moment. Is that you? Did you buy that pack? Because that pack looked like that was pretty cool, actually. What's hilarious from the word that I can't seem to pronounce is that since it's set in my city, you can actually see places like my grandma's house. Oh, that's crazy. That's pretty wild when a show does something like that. Like we have a couple of shows that have been like from here, and a couple of shows that have been in areas that were close enough to us that I can pick out landmarks and be like, I've actually been there. That's actually cool when that happens. So Conan's Throne actually got through. It won, and that'll be the first thing that we do, which is kind of going to be weird. Because this show has never unboxed a chair before. Ever. I'm thinking. I don't think it's ever happened. On the show, it's... Hold on. Future chair. That's the only chair that I've ever unboxed on this show that I can think of. I've never had a captain's chair. Except for a cardboard one. Because I've never had a bridge playset. Oh, hold on. I did the Bone Throne. So, the Bone Throne is something that I have. Otherwise, this is kind of a rare thing. Other show broke chair. I believe Super 7 is adding tariff charges to everything. Okay, so yes. How do I put this? When I very first heard this, that Super 7 was adding a tariff charge to everything, even the stuff already in stock, I was mad. But I've been thinking about it, and maybe, just maybe, this isn't a bad thing. I live next to an airport. Plane is flying over right now. So look, here's my thought on it. This is the best way that I can do this in terms of keeping anything that's positive, and it does make a little sense, but look, I've been wondering about this, and I'm curious if what is going on is that they're adding because I heard it's going to be like an 8%, tariff is going to be added to everything, even the stuff that is in stock. So it doesn't matter what it is, there's a tariff being added to it. If it's in stock, tariff. If it's coming, tariff. When it gets here, tariff. Pre-orders, tariff. It's happening. I'm sorry to say the word over and over and over again because right now it's almost like a shock word, but we are here. This is the moment. It is happening. I am sorry. This is the world we live in. This is the news. But I got to thinking about this a little bit. Maybe, just maybe, the idea here is to add an 8% across the board. And if that's the idea, and I'm just theorizing, I'm trying to play businessman, okay? And when I think like that, when I think if I was a business, I don't want to lose my customers, but I can't absorb the cost. It's not realistic. It'll kill me just as fast as it'll... it's a double-edged sword. I can't win. Because if I push the tariff off onto the customer, they can't afford anything, I can't sell anything, I go out of business. But if I eat the whole thing, they get great deals, and I go under because I can't absorb the cost, just like a person can't absorb the cost. So, what do? Maybe they're looking to take the biggest hit they can. I'm really giving them the benefit of the doubt here. And at the same time, offer everybody an out. If they offer an 8% increase across the board on all product, including what is already here right now, it's in stock, you can have it right now, but I want an 8% surcharge. I'm going to take that 8% surcharge, which means that you're technically paying me extra for something that's already on the market. That sucks. That sucks for you. What it's going to do for me as a business is I'm going to take that 8%, 8%, 8%, 8%, 8%, and I'm going to hoard it into a big old mattress of 8% money. Then the actual tariffs are going to hit. And my product could go up 10, 15, 20, maybe even 30%. It depends on how much stuff I am importing, what kind of stuff, and all of the little intricacies that come through, and then after it gets here, what all has been added. And if it gets really bad, the idea might be that by charging 8% on what's already in stock and 8% on what's coming, maybe that if I create a flat across the board, I can absorb the extra that's going to hit from the extra that I'm going to make, and then it sucks for everybody, but everybody kind of makes it. That's what I'm guessing is going on here, and it's my absolute best guess as to what is going on, because other companies are not doing that. Other companies are just selling the regular stuff as the thing we're going to be talking about later. One of the items that I bought because it was in stock and I didn't have to pay anything extra on it because it's already there. So that's fair game. I get it. And then the other things that are coming, you imagine I would pay extra money. It feels like it's a way to try to make things even across the board. Boy, I hope that's what's going on, and I hope that it works for everybody's sake. But it's a risky business move to do something like that because some people are going to see this as an egregious overcharge. And not that they're wrong. But that's where my head is. Because I'm trying to think what business prospect they would have in mind that would tell them, well, okay, this is our situation. I'm just going to charge everybody 8% extra across the board. Screw it. Like, there has to be a thought pattern there, and I don't think it's just corporate greed. All businesses want to make money, but there almost has to be a battle plan on this one. I hope. So I am right. It was 8%. Okay. Let's see. Eternal Astronaut, if you want to pronounce it. Story-wise, it has to do with an alien invasion with an with an unending nuclear winter and snow that kills on contact, giant bugs. Kind of sounds like Blue Gender. You should watch it whenever you can, I tell you. Just 6 episodes. That's one thing I like is short series that just get to the point. I can watch it and be done. Okay. No, you're not annoying me. It's just, I don't know the show. So you're literally telling me everything about it because I know nothing about it. I mean, that's the nature of it. I get it, but if you go to pre-orders list, they raise the prices on pre-order figures without the 8% yet. So they went up, and then we'll start adding 8% if I've seen it. Yeah, and see, that's another thing, too, about this whole thing that's going on. On a personal note, I think that it should be our right. I don't care about it. Should be our right. The transparency should be our right. We should see the price, the tax, and the tariff charge. We should see that. It should not just randomly, because here's what I'm worried about. It scares me a little bit. They add these 8% and these tariff charges, and they just throw it on the figure. Bam! And say this hits us for a year. Say for an entire year, it's rough before anything starts happening where talks are happening and things and so on and so forth. And by the time we get back, because we were not given the transparency in certain corners to see where the extra charges were coming from, later, when that starts to tinker off, and we start to work some things down, and we say, okay, we're going to start going back to some normal prices. If they were never fully transparent on what the surcharges were in some corners, they can just keep them there. They can just keep an extra 4%. So when they take off the 20% that was on there, they just leave that extra 4, and nobody will be none the wiser, because it will feel like, oh, you see the toy prices coming down? And then we won't ask the question when it finally fizzles out at an area that's lower. Like, I don't know, that worries me. That feels like they could get away with something. I don't know, I really don't like that. I want the transparency. All my pre-orders were way before the 9th deadline. Hey, Bill, was the email specifically just for your Dragon Man and Sentinel or all Hasbro Pulse orders? It said all Hasbro Pulse orders, but the only thing I have ordered is Dragon Man and the Sentinel. Literally nothing else is on the way right now. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Yeah, don't hide it from us. A tariff is not a domestic cost for the consumer. It's a logistic cost for the importer. Consumers don't need to see it. We disagree. 1,000% we disagree. And the reason we disagree here is because regardless of how you are phrasing it, if tariffs, without going into it, without getting stupid, if tariffs were not, if they did not affect the domestic market, if consumers did not pay for it, then the prices would not go up. Period. The prices would not go up, but they are. And in the sense of transparency, I want to see what the surcharge is so that later on I will know when the surcharge has left and the market is restabilizing. I want to see that. I'm sorry, that's the way I feel about it. And there's nothing going to change my mind on that one. If these costs are affecting the consumer, that's me. I should know why. Ordered dinner and got extra that I wasn't charged for. What? I don't know how you would give me a pizza, to be fair. I'm pretty far away from you at this point, man. We won't be seeing what the exact amount of tariff charges because right, I saw all that stuff. And it's true. There are tariffs enacting quite often. But in the rate of the egregiousness that is currently taking place, that's a different argument altogether. It's a different argument altogether. That all being said... Oh, there he is. Yes! This is going to be neat. I've been wondering about this one for a long time, so let's just do the first one. Here it is. Right here. This is King Conan's throne, the throne of Aquilonia. This is awesome. I have waited for a while to see this. So here's what's going on. I had extra money, and I was going in to get Tigra. And I said, if I'm buying Tigra, let's see. If I'm buying Tigra, what else can I get? I have $200. I bought Tigra, and then I looked around, and I found 3 more items, all in stock, no extra charge currently on them. I got them early enough to avoid the extra charges. The 8% that's being added right now, the 8% that's being added to all the Super 7 stuff, I dodged it. I got right before they made that announcement. So I got this and King Conan, Arnold from the movie, and then I got a chair for DC Direct. We'll talk about it later. I got a chair from DC Direct, and yeah, so Tigra, King Conan, the throne, and a chair from DC Direct. So 4 items. I ordered them all, and I was like, here they go. Bring them on. So 4. That was pretty cool, to be fair. And I came in under $200, and I was like, hey, okay, great. This is like... This is when you've reached a point in collecting action figures that, like... How do I put this? You know how normally you get into something and like you start out and you buy some Spider-Mans or whatever. I'm just being generalization. And then maybe you need some, like a cool Ghost Rider. And you get some Captain Americas and some Iron Man and a Hulk and so on and so forth. And as you go, after a while you get that Ghost Rider, and that Ghost Rider comes with a motorcycle, and you're like, oh man, vehicles are cool. So maybe you expand that the littlest bit, and you go looking for a couple of other things. And maybe you end up with a Batmobile or a Batwing or something like that. But there comes a point in time when you've got a lot of cool stuff, but you don't have like cool stuff for your cool stuff. That almost feels like what this is. Like entering into this part when you're in your collecting habits. I bought a chair for a guy. That I haven't even replaced my chair. And I bought King Conan's throne. I'm hoping this is really cool, because it certainly looked really cool, and I've got high hopes to be able to put this in my castle background and kind of recreate this image exactly. Like, that's what I'm hoping to do And then after that, it will go on the shelf and be really, really cool as a throne in general. Let's open it. Let's do it. Okay. Well, here it is. There's these little pieces of plastic here. I was curious about how those worked. I think this chair comes off. It does. Okay. So there. There's these little plastic pegs. Let's pull those off. And here it is. That is the stand. It's very simple, but it will work for a bunch of different concepts. It's got these little pegs here and whatnot for actually putting the throne on, so the throne will sit in place. The throne goes on like this. So it's got a peg here, and it's got a peg here. Very much like any other action figure has feet. That's really what this is. You don't have to worry necessarily about front and back because they're really the same when it comes to it. These don't move. They're not actually hanging parts. I was kind of curious about this, if these would be like that. You could kind of argue there's a front and back because the cushion is slightly different here. And one might argue that if his butt is supposed to be there, then I should turn this way. And that probably makes the most sense, because then when he sits on it, his feet will be on the floor, and you want this to be back, and this indent, I'm guessing, is for Conan to sit specifically right here. Otherwise, it looks great. Like, there's a lot of detail, and I wish this camera showed it off a little better, but like there's a lot of detail intricate in here, like a lot of engraving and stuff like that right in there, which is really, really cool. It is way more detailed than I was expecting, if you want the truth of it. That's a solid gold color. This has a type of texture feeling to it, so it kind of feels and looks like it's kind of like a leather, which is cool. It does come with this, which this, in all honesty, I could do with or without. It is just kind of a cool effect, and it's got like a little thing right here so that it can actually sit on the floor and be kind of indented, but it's not like you plug it in anywhere. It is a tiny little peg hole that's not even really a hole. It's just enough to kind of put it in there and make sure that it won't fall over for the most part once it's leaning against something. Like, you lean it up against this, and then it kind of taps into the floor, and that kind of gives it like a little lip to hit against, and then it kind of sits there. That's really what this is. It's kind of cool, but we could easily live without this. But it is cool to get stuff regardless. And that's all this is. So now comes the part where I'm brutally honest. For me, this is amazing, and it's fantastic, and I love it, and it will do everything I want it to do. For everybody else, This chair probably will cost you over $54 at this point now. Even in stock, with an 8% added price as a Super 7 Ultimates, you're probably looking at $60, $62, $63 base. That is not including tax. This is probably now close to a $70 chair. That is a rough buy for almost anybody, because you figure you got to get the chair. That used to be $54. Now there's a surcharge added on top of it, plus tax, plus shipping and handling. This could be sitting close to $70 now. That's a lot. I will not say that it isn't. For me, getting lucky enough to have got it when I got it, it wasn't that big of a hit. But one could still argue, even though I got it at $54, one could argue that's a lot for what it is. It's just a chair. And unless you are the kind of fan that I am, you watch Conan, you play Conan, you read Conan. I mean, that's a big thing for me. Okay? So for me, this is fantastic. My dog wants out, so we're going to have to pause here after a bit and let her out. But I am curious. We'll use Broken Tigra for this test. Put her hand down here. She looks awkward on it because it's so big. But I'm wondering if I could do something else with it. Just sitting, Tigra ends up looking a lot like this. Okay? And she doesn't even belong on the chair. But it gives you an idea of the scale and how big. This is my Broken Tila here. Tigra, not Tila. But I bet you could pull off something where you kind of lay her on the chair. This is absolutely terrible right now, what we're trying to accomplish with one hand trying to do. But you get the idea. It's big enough that if you wanted to do some scenes with some other characters, you could get things like Vampirella and whatnot onto that chair and it would work. Since I have not unboxed King Conan yet, I don't know what he will look like on the throne. But that's just a matter of time. I love it. It works for me. Keep in mind what it's going to run you if you decide to try this as well. That's what I've got to say about the chair. So, now, I need to go back to the chat, but what we also need to do is we need to let the dog out because it's getting very impatient. So let me bring up the bar and I'll be right back. Okay, let's see what's going on chat-wise. That's like going out to dinner and they bring the bill and the bill is higher than what the menu says and we're supposed to be okay with it. Yeah, I feel a certain way about it myself. I like transparency in what I'm buying into. Wonder if you'd be able to use the pegs for the chair legs for action scenes on the stand, because the floor is dope. Yeah, no, I think the pegs are deep enough that they would work for most action figures. I don't know why, but this is my favorite stream screen. Bill, shut up, I'm thinking. Something I forgot about the show. It was praised by Hideo. Oh, no, I saw that, yeah. I did see that. Okay, let me prep the next one. Because there are a set of questions again. Bam, 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 bam. Move microphone. There's that. Or, yeah. That'll do it. Bam. No, look, Bill always wants pizza. From that far away, there's not a whole lot I can do about it. And by the way, Bill, something that I've been wondering, what's the music y'all put in the old Sentai review videos? The intro one with the guitar, is it something requested for TSR or something royalty-free thing? You're asking a very deep question. And there's a reason I say that. Depending on at what point you're talking about for the Sentai review, are you talking about that da 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 da? Because that music, yeah, because at the end it goes da 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 da. That old music is recorded specifically by my dad's friend. Like, my dad used to play in bands, and then I played in bands, and then I got a hold of some of his music, and we used part of one of his solo guitar riffs for the show years ago. So it's a very independent song. But then, depending on how far back you're talking about the show, some of the old music and guitar riffs in the old show were mine, like that I specifically did with my bands. So it's hard to say exactly what music you are talking about, but most, and then there's another problem. Scott liked to do things that I would tell him not to do. There's no way around it. That's what he did. And I would constantly tell him, do not use music that is tied to something that could be marked. It's copyright. It's not your music. And then he would tell me things like, yeah, but if you use it this way or blah, blah, blah. And then we would have arguments about that. Anything that I edit, anything that I made, that's my music. It's my music, or it's royalty-free music, or it's music that I specifically paid for so that I could future-proof the thing that I was doing to never get it marked. However, things that he did, and that was a joint project between multiple creators, things that he did not necessarily follow that, and there are a lot of stuff on that channel. There's a lot of stuff on that channel that's like marked. And that was the problem, was sometimes it was music, sometimes it was images, sometimes it was clips. Like when he did the Green with Evil, he like tried to use a whole lot of actual footage from the show, and that video got marked like 5 or 6 different times. And then finally he had to do like some pictures, and he was really mad. And I was like, I told you weren't going to get away with that to begin with. Like, we don't get away with that. I've seen other creators that get away with it, but we don't, which is the reason we never did that episode that constantly got asked about, like, hey, could you guys do an episode where you talk about all the intro music? Well, no, because every time that I post a music clip, I get tagged. Like, so I just didn't do it. Yeah, it would be cold pizza by the time that I got there. As someone who knows absolutely nothing about Masters of the Universe, what would you recommend for a newcomer? Not that I'm jumping in anytime soon, but, potential future exploration. So, here's the thing. I think that Masters of the Universe is vaster than people give it credit for, and a lot of the people that are like big fans of Masters of the Universe, they pull it back and try to shove it in a box. Like, they want it to be like small and compacted, and I think that's a misfire on certain ways that people view the material. Where I started, I watched the Netflix series. It was 10 episodes. Now it's 15 episodes if you watch Revelation and Revolution. It's very much a fantasy tale where a hero falls, and then they go on a journey. They discover themselves without the presence of a hero, bring that hero back into the fold, introduce certain mythologies, characters, and ideas for people that have been there forever and people that are just getting in, and then let it run wild on Revolution and just bring it home. I personally love that Netflix series. I do. I don't like the CGI He-Man. I tried. I got through 2 discs, and it was not hitting with me. And sometimes that's the way it is. Sometimes something doesn't speak to you. That show feels like Motu Sentai. That's the best way I can explain it. They get power. There's like 5 of them. He uses that power. They all transform and get special suits and abilities and power armors. And it just doesn't, it's something about it feels off to me. And I don't love it. And I will admit to a mild form of bias that they took my favorite character and they changed her too dramatically. Way too dramatically. Because the Teela that they put in that series doesn't feel like Teela or even a rendition of Teela at all to me. Like, something feels very off about the way that they did it, and it just doesn't hit with me. The original series is rough for people that want something serious, that are trying to get into something serious. You have to be in the right state of mind. It's Batman 66. It's a thing of its time. When the show hits, if you're able to just take it as small morality barbarian plays, you will enjoy yourself quite substantially. If you're trying to take that show seriously, you're not going to be able to do it. You're not going to be able to do it. On top of that, when I went to the comic books, I received a massive shock. Because depending on where in the comics you are, the mini-comics are fairly tame, but get across some ideas that are really cool. And you can watch the mythology build, because every mini-comic kind of contradicts itself and just builds new mythologies and ideas as it goes forward, and it's actually really cool. But the DC comics that were released, those are pretty sharp. And they pull very few punches. If you want an on-the-ground, I've never really done anything with He-Man, and I don't really know much about it, but I do know stuff about DC. You might be able to ease yourself into it and get an idea if it's for you with the crossover comic. There is a crossover Motu versus, it's basically Masters of the Universe versus Injustice. that's a good book. And it does justice to He-Man and all of his cast, as well as it does justice to the cast that are crossing over with. It feels like the Injustice universe, and it feels very well done. And he feels like he belongs there because the story's done very, very well. As for the 2000X, I know a lot of people, they're about that. That's their series. I have tried to watch it twice now. I can get through most of season 1, and then for whatever reason, I go watch something else. And I don't know what it is. I really don't. I can't lock down exactly what it is that's not meshing with me very well. Because I see concepts in it and I go, I like this a lot. And then I get about 6 episodes in and I'm like, I'm going to go watch something else. I don't know if it's at the very beginning of episodic television trying to tell long stories. So it's like there, but it's not refined yet. So I see like maybe it's too episodic and it feels like something's missing. I don't know what it is. I can't seem to sit down and watch it through, and I don't know why. And with me, that is kind of surprising because I have read every comic book. Every one. I bought the omnibus, and then I bought every single comic to the side of the omnibus, every collection I needed to read everything. I read every single mini comic that was released before the new waves of toys. I watched all of the original series. I watched all of the Netflix series. I watched all of She-Ra. To say I'm well versed, I've read and watched more than some super fans out there. And I constantly have my issues when people try to tell me, oh, blah, blah, classics storyline, blah, blah, classics said this. And I'm like, that is not the definitive story. It's not the definitive story of Motu. Motu is ever-changing, ever-advancing, and ever-imaginative. Every single iteration of Motu is different from beginning to end and tells a different story. The best way I can explain it is it feels like you played Dungeons and Dragons. You used the same character in two different worlds. You were playing Dungeons and Dragons and you got your He-Man character and you went over here and you played. And with this group of guys, you told this story. Then you took that exact same He-Man with the exact same backstory and the exact same ideas and took him over to a different group that plays a slightly different game and got a completely different story with the exact same characters. It feels like that, and you need to be ready for that if you jump into it, because the thing about Motu is most everybody that does something Motu finds a home. A place where they feel like this is the mythology that speaks to me. I'm a 2000X. I'm an original series. I read the comic books. I like the mini comics. I only like the toys. Netflix this. CGI show. Like, people tend to choose the mythology that talks to them, so it's really hard to say where you should start. But on a personal level, if you are unbiased because you have never seen anything, you may do yourself a favor by starting with Netflix, the Kevin Smith show, because one, you will not be biased to the idea, you will not yet be owned by the people that have already made decisions and spread propaganda about what the show is. First off, the show is not woke. That's a term that you're using because you don't like it and you can't exactly explain what it is that you don't like. So you use a blanket term to throw it over the thing and make it something that it's not. Teela is not a lesbian. And by the way, yes, Adam, quote unquote, dies in the first episode, but it's linked to the overall account of the story, and it's necessary for what they are doing, and it's appreciated that much more when they bring him back. It feels earned, and it feels big, and it feels like you waited for this moment with the thing you were waiting for, instead of them just giving you your bite-sized chunk every 23 minutes, and nobody else in the show matters. It's different, and it's different for a reason. Let me fix my camera real quick. A dupe, a dupe, a dupe, dupe. Really? It is not working. Let me deactivate. There, that fixed it. Haha. But that's where I see it. I honestly believe that if you have no bias, you should probably start with the Netflix. The reason I say it, it's the newest thing. It's not that big of an investment. You'll know pretty quick whether or not this is for you. It's only 5 episodes, 5 episodes, 5 episodes. You got 5 hours, you got 1 weekend, you break out, you'll be done. You'll know whether or not you liked it. It's real simple. And then from there, if you want to dive deeper and you start to understand the ideas of how the other shows are going to go, you would then do yourself a favor by already having this knowledge, and you would already see, because I think going in that direction, you start with the newest thing, then you go back to check out the history, and you will see that this is a commanding, gigantic legacy that has changed over time, and that putting it in a box probably does it no favors. But that's the best I got for you. This is a lineage that is so big that it's hard to get into, and without expressing a bias, it's hard to tell somebody where to start, because 2000X, it's the best one, you don't need anything else. Do you, though? Because the same guys that are saying that, I can't seem to watch it. But I'm not untested. I've read and watched a lot of it. More of it than most of the people that watched the 2000X. So, like, one would argue that I have more experience in it than they do, and yet they only have one show, and it's their all go-to, and they won't get away from it, and it's the best, and nothing else matters, and every other show sucked. So, like, it's really hard to put that and tell you where to start, but I can tell you where I started and how it worked out for me, and that's what I can do for you. You listen to us while you do dishes, huh? I can understand that. I used to play a lot of this stuff in the background too, my old shows and whatnot. I remember one music, the Sentai Review episode blank, then the first logo with the thunder and the electric guitar music. Is it the one that we used to go, dun, dun? What was electric guitar music? See? So I remember when the lightning came down, it used to go dun, 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 dun. That was me. That was specifically me in a garage band, and that used to be part of another song called Stupid Solitude, and that was from a really old band that I was part of. And that's where the lightning bolt background came from. Like I did in Comics TAS when I used a couple seconds of the Offspring song Slim Pickings Does the Right Thing and Rides the Bomb. Right. Oh, dude. Wait, this week? Ooh, I've already got that pre-ordered. If you're right, I've already got that pre-ordered. You may have just made my week. Because the second that arrives, a Blu-ray, no, not the second, I will be putting it off. But every show that I have planned that's in my stuff, that will go to the wayside immediately, because me and my daughter, we loved this show. This was the first thing that either me or my daughter ever watched He-Man, and we absolutely loved it. We were absolutely into it. We were absolutely on top of it. We watched all 5 episodes in a single sitting. It was like, oh crap, where's the rest of it? And so, like, we loved it. So I know when that Blu-ray comes out, we will get it. We've already got it pre-ordered. We'll get it day one, and we will immediately put everything to the back burner and watch it in a single weekend. There's no doubt in my mind. My favorite Masters of the Universe is the 2000. A lot of people grew up with the 2000, and that might have been what helped them like that one over all the others. And now it's kind of like where people like the 80s Turtles, and I would argue that the 80s Turtles is not superior to the other Ninja Turtles that we've got, like, at all. Now that you said Motu Sentai, now I want to see Skeletor Ranger. I think I have a new fan-made concept. It's probably the samurai armor He-Man gets. Yeah, they do. They change his outfit in that one, and he gets like the snake armors and things like that. I just watched a documentary on the histories of Masters of the Universe toy line and its beginnings, and it's now lured me in a way as now I'm eyeing certain figures with a better understanding. I may know the one you're talking about. I think I watched that as well, and I liked it quite a bit. Do I have a favorite figure, one that is all above all my other figures? I have a most important item in my collection. In terms of favorite figure, that is tough. That is very tough. I'm sorry. What? Tomorrow? Oh, man. If that's true, I've already got it pre-ordered. I've had it pre-ordered on Amazon since day one. Like, the immediate day that it came up for pre-order, I was like, a pink! Like, so, yes! If that is true, I will get home tomorrow, and it will be sitting on my front porch. That is fantastic news. We have talked long enough, by the way. You've just been hanging out and talking, so let me go up here and actually knock this thing out here. Now, Masterverse and Legends 1. Okay, that's fine, though. Oh, crap. There, we won't give this very long, just enough to get the idea. Oh, man. So I have weird favorites, because my collection spans many different ideas and whatnot, and like if you've ever seen those videos where I talk about everything in here has a purpose, I kind of have favorites from different lines. So like, I love, and I don't care how it feels, that is my favorite McFarlane figure right now. The Power Girl is my favorite McFarlane figure right now. She's absolutely at the top of the pile. Followed very, very closely by the 1940s Superman. Other stuff, though, in here gets more complicated. Because, like, when I look over here, I see a lot of my Motu stuff origin-wise. My favorite origin character... My favorite origin figure is the absolute dumbest possible one. It is Dumbface Skeletor. It is Motu Origins Wave 1 Skeletor with his stupid face. He's the best. He's the absolute best. Like, just, it's too good. It's absolutely too good. I love him. I don't know why. My favorite Ninja Turtle figure, it's the Super 7 Ultimates Leonardo original figure. Like, where they just took the original toy that I grew up with and they remade it in modern articulation. That's who it is. Because Leo's my favorite turtle. That's my favorite design of turtles. That's a modern articulation. That's the best turtle on my shelf right now. My favorite Power Ranger figure, which I don't have a whole bunch of them, but I do have them. It's without a doubt, it's the Ranger Slayer. Like, she's very unique and very cool, and she's followed by my favorite Ranger, which is the Gold Ranger Legacy Collection. So, like, there's that. Egon is my favorite Ghostbuster figure from the Plasma collection. I mean, the more I look over here, I have like favorites from all different things. But if talking about one figure from the entire collection, it's almost impossible because the way I collect, I don't collect as like a I'm not a completionist. Marvel Legends has one. And because I'm not a completionist, I don't just buy a bunch of figures and then end up with like 4 or 5 that I don't like, and like these are the ones that I'm not a fan of and things like that. That doesn't really happen with me. So everything in here has some sort of reason for having been bought in the first place. Like, it's very, very rare that you will see me be like, hey, I bought a figure. That's it. I bought it. It's cool. Let me do a review. Like, if that's the only reason I have it, I will usually bring up that it breaks my rules and that there was a very specific reason as to why I bought it. Like, do I like X Factor Scott Summers? No. No. I don't like that costume. I don't like that figure. I wanted his blast effect. But I'll blatantly tell you that that's why I bought him. And yes, it wasn't actually Masterverse. I'm well aware of that. Marvel Legends has one, so I gotta write out the next step for them. Believe it or not, I already did a video talking about it. The Green Ranger helmet I do not have anymore. It was offered 5 different times to Proto Guy to buy, and all 5 times he kept saying that he couldn't come up with the money. And I kept putting it off and being like, well, I'm going to give you some time. And then he wouldn't do it. And then I gave him more time, and then he wouldn't do it. And then I gave him more time, and then he wouldn't do it. And so finally, I sold it. I got a very good offer on it. I got $400 on it, and I sold it. And I actually have a video completely talking about why I sold it. And the items that I kept, specifically the things that mattered more to me than the helmet did. And I really tried to offer it to the person that I thought wanted it the most. And I was even willing to go as low as $300, if not $250. And for some reason, he would not do it. He kept coming up with reasons as to why he didn't have the money, but then would turn around and buy like $100 collection video games. Like he bought that new Dragon Ball Z with the collector's edition. So like $130 game. And I was like, dude, what are you doing? Like, if you want this, I'm going to part with it. Like, this is your chance. And that's what ended up happening with that. You have the Legacy Gold Ranger stat. Yes, I do. I've actually never seen it outside of promotional imagery. Haven't seen people review it either. No, I have it, and I like it a lot. And strangely enough, it was a Christmas gift from Scott, which blew my mind that he even got one at all and got it for me. I couldn't believe that. But I love that thing. I think that's absolutely fantastic. I know not too many people care, but man, I do love that Super 7 Shredder from the TMNT 2003 series. I don't think I've even seen... I know I've seen it, but I've never seen one, like, up close. Hey, what's going on, man? Yes, I do still have the Morpher. So, let me see. We have... Okay. So, let's put all of these in real quick. Whoop. I know I have that. That's ready. Oh, I forgot. Oh, yes. Of course. Whoop. And then we're going to move these over to the side. that's a possibility today. What's that? Put that one to the side. Yeah, let's do those. Man, it is warm today. It's getting warm up here in this room is what it's getting. Yes, Scott gave it to me. It's unreal to me that that's the way that played out. But Scott gave me the Gold Ranger scepter. And for what it's worth, I have to go let the dog in. Let me go grab it. Why not? Let me go grab it. I'll be back. Okay. Doop, doop. That's it. It has been on my shelf since the Christmas he got it for me. It's been a while, actually. It's still in perfect condition. It still works. It sits out in the garage over by my boxing equipment. So I got my bag and everything set up, and this sits over there next to it. You push this in here. This goes all the way down. It clicks in. You pull that. It activates this part right here. I mean, that's what it is. It does not have batteries right now. That's on purpose, because if it just sits out there, it will die. Like that's the way that it is. And it would also cause damage to the actual item in general, but this is it, man. Yeah, it just kind of sits out there. It's pretty cool. But I've had it for a while now, and I do tend to like it quite a bit. Yeah, I was expecting Bully to win. No. No, I don't. Yeah, I expected him to win. He won quite a bit. Absolutely. Absolutely. Dude, I knew the second I put him up, I was like, he's guaranteed. And you know what? It's been 5 minutes. We're gonna call it. Bully McGuire got the win. Let's see, put her back down there. Put him there. Move that to the side. Okay. Here we go. Bully McGuire. There he is. Spider-Man 3. I'm sorry, man, but I'm going to have to put some dirt in your eyes. I have a feeling this figure is bad. I got a feeling that he's bad. That being said, not because of the movie. I know a lot of people don't like Spider-Man 3. But I think there's an interesting phenomenon that happens in movies. I really do. I think this is an interesting phenomenon, and if you've never stopped and thought about it, give it some thought. Go back. Remove your bias and remove the hype that you had at the time that you saw a movie, and you will find that your opinions about said movies change dramatically. One of the cool things or interesting things to do is right now we have all these people on YouTube that do reactions. They watch movies, and they're usually younger people. They're younger than me. I'm 41. They're usually in their 20s. That's not a bad thing. In fact, it's absolutely integral to the point that I'm making. When these people watch Spider-Man, Sam Raimi, 1, 2, and 3, they just watch movies. They watch part 1, it's good. They watch part 2, they're like, oh, that is so good. They watch part 3, and they are not stuck in the moments that we were stuck in with the kind of drag that we had, the expectations that we had. See, to them, they didn't wait so many years for this to come out and expect anything from it. It's just a movie. And they watch these movies back to back. 1, 2, 3, that's a pretty good series of films. And then they move on. And you would be shocked to see how many people watch that third movie and do not react the way that we did. And I say we, and that's unfair. I know it's going to sound like I'm trying to be different. I liked this movie, and I have watched it multiple times. And any time that I watch the Sam Raimi movies, I watch all 3 of them. And I don't care. Now, that's a very different monster than when I watch Ninja Turtles. When I watch Ninja Turtles, I watch Ninja Turtles 1. Yeah, that's right, I stopped talking. I watch Ninja Turtles 1. Sometimes, on a very rare occasion, I will watch 2. I do not watch 3. And it's actually not because I hate it necessarily. I just don't waste my time with it at all because it doesn't really do much for me. I have an entire thing on Fandom Night where we recovered those movies and I talked in detail about how I thought about each movie. And part 1 is such a masterpiece that the other 2 movies don't even register. Like, they just don't do anything for me at all. But this was different. Guys, understand something. I was huge into Spider-Man, and I always have been. And if you notice my Marvel Legends, I'm a putz. When it comes to my Marvel Legends, I'll buy one Captain America. I'll buy one She-Hulk. Well, I guess they got me twice on that one this time. I'll buy like one Phoenix that I want, one Cyclops that I want. And then it's a very long time before I pick up another that I care about. I just want one Iron Man. I've got him on the shelf. I'm done. But Spider-Man, he's huge for me. Like, he's huge. He's probably, in terms of Marvel, he is my favorite superhero on the Marvel side, realistically. Like, standalone, single hero. I've probably read more of his books than any other hero in Marvel. Unless you want to make the argument for the original Conan years, but I don't think that's in the same argument. I watched the first movie. No joke. I went to the theater the day it came out. I left school. I went there. I got there. And I said, Spider-Man. And they said, ooh, we are actually sold out of tickets. And I said, what? They said, yeah, the next available showing is 8:45. I came from school. I took the bus. I'm there now. I said, yeah, give me that ticket. I'll wait. I did. It's not a joke. I did it. I waited in the lobby. I walked around the shopping center. I went and looked at every single store that existed in the shopping center. I was like, oh, they sell shoes here. It didn't matter what it was. I burned my time. I sat in the lobby. I ate some popcorn. I got some refills. I waited. And at 8:45, I went in and I seen Spider-Man 1. And it was, no joke, in theaters, one of the greatest movie experiences I ever had in my entire life. And to let you know, I did not see it once. I went back. I saw Spider-Man 1 in theaters. This is not a joke. It's not an exaggeration. I saw it 14 times. I just kept going back. I went on Friday. Then I got some of my friends and I was like, guys, you got to see this. And I went on Saturday. And then Monday after school, after talking to a couple friends, we went. I was like, I'll go with you. So I got in their car and we went. And then we got to talking about it, and a couple of my other friends were like, yeah, I haven't got to see that yet. And I was like, when do you want to go? And they were like, we're going, I think I'm probably going to see it Friday. I'm going to go after school. And I was like, I'll go with you. And I went there, and I hopped the bus and went to the mall on Saturday. And by myself, went and seen it again. I loved that movie. And then Spider-Man 2 came out, and I didn't see it the same amount of times. I only seen it about 9 times in theaters. But I went to that movie a bunch of times too. And this, I will say, it wasn't my favorite. But I went to this movie 4 times in theaters. 4 times for this movie in theaters. So to tell you that I liked the Sam Raimi movies is an understatement. I absolutely loved them. And this was no different. And I bought them, and I watched them, and I'm a huge fan. And when this was coming out, they got me on this. They raised the price. You are not worth $35. Don't give me that look. Oh, look at that. You hear that? That is a car alarm. That even the cars are going off knowing that he's not worth that. He is not worth $35. You are not worth $35. When I open you, I know that's true. Don't give me that look. I see your face. I see your dumbass face. Let's open him, because I got this feeling Like, though I wanted this, and though I'm a putz, and though I bought it, and though it plays into my reasons for why I buy figures, I got this feeling that you're going to be an awful lot like the last one. And the last one, though I loved it, it may be one of the worst Marvel Legends that I currently own. That's a video. I may have a list for that now, even though I love all the figures that I've bought. I may have a list for worst Marvel Legends that I own. We'll see. For right now, we got to open him. Okay, well, here he is, Bully Maguire Spider-Man, and let's see if I can't get this camera to do just him. Focus on him. Him. I kind of got him. So I want to be honest. Let me fix this again. Oh, nope, it fixed. Looking at it dead on, in the real space here, like I have him in my hands, that's not bad. I could argue that it could be a bit better, but that's pretty spot on. I got to admit, I like this. That's a solid face. And I almost bought this for that face. Like, I could buy one of the suit figures now, or go to Ali's and just find somebody in a suit, take that head off, put it on the suit, and I could probably make it work. And that would be fine. I expected this. This almost feels like it's painted on the arms. Maybe I'm imagining it, but my fingers don't feel like it feels like all of this is a... I don't think these are raised. I think it's painted on. Not that that would be a deal breaker necessarily. I'm going to be honest with you. It almost feels like he's moving better than the other one did. Like, I think he might be moving better. It's hard for me to say. So my Tobey Maguire that I got felt stiff. Like he felt stiff, like he did not want to move well. And then this one comes out and they're asking 35. But it almost feels like he actually moves well. You might be able to get some cool poses out of this guy. He doesn't have drop-down hips, but of course I didn't expect him to because the other one didn't. And this is very much, as far as I could tell, the same body that we already got. But you might be able to do some stuff with this guy. I'm going to be honest, I am surprised he feels better to me than the other one did. That surprises me. The paint job here, of course, is broken up, but this feels sculpted. The spider on the back, the spider on the front is definitely raised. And the rest of it, it's a neat effect, and I'm having a lot of trouble believing. If it is raised, it is so barely, or just in certain places. And then the illusion seems to carry where it's like, it's raised here on the feet, like I can feel it. And it's raised on the boots, I can feel it. It's raised on the belt, I can feel it. I don't know if maybe it's just the way the arms feel, but the arms feel almost like it's painted. But then right down here it does. I think it is all raised. It's just it's almost a touch illusion. Well, he came with two things. He came with this wild thing, which seems to go, does it go like this? And then you put the head back on? Because it's got like it seems to go like this. And then you put the head back on, and then he has this like crazy Venom effect that's on him, which really, it's okay. Like, maybe if I pulled it back and was, no, because then it looks like a dumb hat. If it's on the side, it looks like it wants to eat his head, but it doesn't necessarily look like... Oh, to be honest, this effect, it feels like trash. Like, it is not blowing my mind. This head, good. This body seems to feel better than the last one that we got. This head goes on, no problems. Looking up, looking down, looking around. Look, for what it's worth, I am pleasantly surprised. But, that also being said, I still do not believe him to be worth $35. But, just for the sake of, I want to get something out of him here. You want to kind of bring this leg up, that down, turn him a bit, bring this out, put the foot, bring this foot kind of more up, maybe something like this. You want to create a type of dynamic, a swing, pull him a little bit, move that, bring the arm back and around, move the head forward maybe something to this effect. Without his legs being able to do drop downs, it's really hard to get the type of effect that you're going for here, but you could get something to this extent. And you could make it work if you pull the arm correctly. Like if you put like a web in his hand and you pull it back, like he's coming off of something into another swing, you can get something out of him. He poses for what he's worth. But like, listen, we're going to be talking about this again. Because you want to move into higher territories, you made this figure, and I'm going to give it to you. He seems like the black suit, at least personally, feels like he is moving better. His parts swap better. He has a little bit better articulation. He doesn't feel nearly as gummy. His head seems to work a little bit better. I'm being honest here. As a figure, I think this is probably better than the other Toby that we got from Marvel Legends. That having been said, At $35 for one legend claimed to be a deluxe. Why is he deluxe? Is he deluxe because he gets 2 climbing hands? 2 punch hands? 2 web hands? Is he deluxe because you had to give us a Toby head? Is he deluxe because of this? Because this effect is trash. Like, on a personal note, this effect right here does nothing for me. Like, nothing. I will never do anything with this. I will never get a picture with this. I don't see a point to this. It does nothing for me. Is this what we paid for? Is black a tough color? Is it because the silver paint is kind of shiny? This one seems like they got to do some real justifying. For me, and my history, which I already told you, these Spider-Man movies were an absolute coming of age for me. I mean, I can't stress it enough. You really don't get it. To me, this was my Star Wars. Like, there are people that go to Star Wars movies and have seen the Star Wars movies over and over and over, and they're like, I went 12 times to freaking Lord of the Rings and things like that. Guys, that was my Spider-Man, and it is never repeated ever in my entire life. The hype that I got from every one of these Spider-Man movies, the amount of times that I went to the theaters in every one of these Spider-Man movies, the amount of times that I've rewatched them. I rewatch these movies almost every single year without fail. I can't stress enough how big of a deal these films were to me. So for me, as a putz, and I'll admit that, paying almost $40, I swallowed it, and I did it, and I got him, and he's going to go on my shelf. And quite frankly, I will be pleased with that. For anybody else that doesn't have one yet, and is considering it, that is a tough buy. You're looking at $35 base value. That's what I paid. Then I paid the big bad tax, shipping and handling and whatnot on top of that. This guy was probably a $40 to $42 figure. That is way too much. I pride myself on being honest about why I collect, how I collect, if it is worth it, and then I try to be a little more realistic to people that are interested in the figure for the sake of it being a figure. And if your only reason for going after this guy is you like Marvel Legends figures and you collect all of them, that's a very hard sell to me. Very hard sell. I am a Spider-Man putz. I buy them. And I will completely admit to being a Spider-Man putz. I have bought Spider-Man after Spider-Man after Spider-Man from Marvel Legends in particular. They have got me over and over and over and over and over. This one's the animated one. Oh man, I need that one. I mean, it's the truth. But for you, personally, just collecting figures, is it worth it? Look, you're going to have to make your own determination there, but I do not believe that Toby, especially for what most people are buying it for, they bought it for this head, and they're going to use it as custom fodder, and they're going to get a suit guy in a black suit, any random suit guy, and they're going to put that head on it so they can have bully dancing Maguire. I'm going to do that too. I'm going to go to Ollie's and I'm going to buy whatever random suit guy happens to be in stock. And his head is going to go on there. But that doesn't change the fact that I do not think this was worth $35. It may be best for you in a different kind of collecting attitude to step back and wait for the sales. I know you're playing roulette. You may not get one at all. But that's a lot for this Spider-Man. I'm going back to the chat. Let's see. Ooh, there was some talking. Okay. I love this. I dig on this. Oh, I should have used that. Ah! But I don't, I guess, to be fair. What's wrong, little Goblin Jr.? Gonna cry? Just fix this damn door! Dude. Oh, dude. I'm telling you right now. I don't know why they can't get him. I don't know what is going on. I don't know if they just don't realize how much we love him. But, it is a travesty that Mr. Dickovich hasn't come back in some form. And I'm telling you right now, I saw when Spider-Man in No Way Home gets that apartment at the end, I was disappointed that he wasn't being shown the apartment. Like, okay, yep, this is your room, blah, blah, blah. These are your keys. And it should have been Mr. Dickovich saying, and I expect rent. You know what I mean? Like, rent? Oh my gosh. If Mr. Dickovich doesn't own that building in the next Spider-Man movie, I will be disappointed. Like, come on, Disney. You can afford that actor. Come on. I think that you could do that dance with him because it's just a standing pose. So I think you could, because his arms do go close enough intersecting and he has a decent enough butterfly here. Like, if you can get that, then you can get those little dancing poses. You could get away with it, but like it would look weird in this suit. You're going to have to get a suit guy and put the bully head on it. Sandman scene was fantastic. Spider-Man 3 was and is my childhood. What, Bill, you don't like Go Ninja, Go Ninja, Go? No, I absolutely do not. It did not. Super Shredder was a disappointment, even in my childhood, and I never really got over it. And also, feeling like I wasn't watching the same movie universe really hurt me even as a kid. Like, I watched part 1, and it felt grown up, and it felt like the greatest comic book movie ever written. And then I watched part 2, and it was just like an episode of the Ninja Turtles. And like it's never done anything for me. Me too. Nick was going, let's see. Me too. Nick is going to freak out about Spider-Man Noir Nicolas Cage live action. Oh, he will. He absolutely will. $35, I forgot when that was my problem. Bill, I don't really care for this. Tosses package over his shoulder. Kind of disappointed that there's no Bully Maguire civilian clothes. I mean, like, and that's another thing, too. They have all these suit guys. Oh, my gosh, I really don't want to do this. But, like, they have all these random suit guys. This guy's deluxe. Why didn't they just give us a suit guy without the head? Like, just package this and this with a suit guy body in the same package and charge me $40. I would have paid that. I wouldn't even have complained. I'd have been like, oh, and we get him in the suit. This? Please. Someone online took the No Way Home Matt Murdock body and painted the suit black, got rid of the tie and popped the belly and popped the Bully Maguire head onto it. And that's I think that's one of the ways to go, really. I think that you could get away with quite a few of the different suit guys, but he might be the best one, actually. The Daredevil suit is probably the best suit body we've had. Black suit from the Toby movie has always been a favorite of mine. It feels creepy looking. Looking at it felt like it was dangerous to the touch, threatening, sharp, kind of scary. Loved it. Hey everyone, I presume you're going to get Frazetta Girls Conan accessory pack, but which Conan? Suit Bowl helmet? Okay. In terms of what I ordered the one from the painting, Suit Bowl. Because that is the Conan specifically used in the paintings. So if I was going to get only one, I wanted it to match what it was meant to be. Frazetta Icons, Frazetta Girls is specifically doing the Frazetta painting stuff, so I got that one. And I heard about the possibility of these Conan accessory packs. That interests me a lot. Like a lot. Depending on what they're talking about selling in such a thing, I could be very interested in those. Also, by the way, fun fact, the symbol on the staff and Gold Ranger helmet is the kanji for king, pronounced O, and looks like this. I feel like I knew that already, and I don't know why. But I feel like reading you saying that, I feel like I knew that already somehow. No, you're right. Charging $35, and that's all he comes with, is a bit much. I think Hasbro did this to test the waters if people were willing to buy standard Marvel Legends for $30. You could be right. You could be right. You watch Rocky almost as often. Rocky, that's the movie I watch more than any movie ever. Like, literally ever. Since I was about 9 years old, every Thanksgiving, I have watched every Rocky movie. Like, I start November 1st, and I watch Rocky 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, then 6, then I watch Creed 1, 2, and 3, and, of course, these movies have added over time, because some of them did not exist when I was 9. And then I've added, actually, a movie to that rotation. I also watch Grudge Match. It's kind of like a weird palate cleanser at the end of the Rocky, where I watch all the Rocky, and then I kind of go back, and to end it, I watch Grudge Match, and I may be adding Big George Foreman to that list this year. I haven't made that decision yet, but I really liked that movie. So Big George Foreman may actually be part of that movie rotation this year. It's a very, very big possibility. And I do want to add the Rocky IV director's cut. I'd like to watch that more to kind of get a feel for how I feel about that version. Because I watched it in theaters, but I do not own it physically, and it's hard for me to say off the top of my head if it holds up for me. I think there are things about seeing new Rockies like anytime that just kind of, I mean, I love to add movies to that rotation because Rocky is easily my favorite movie ever. But yeah, let's see. Let's do... that one. Let's also do... Oh. We'll run that into the rotation right now, and then we'll do... You know what? Bam. There. There's a set right there. Yeah. You are overpriced. I'm sorry, man. I do like him. Like, that's... Look. They could have done much worse. And I feel like the last one didn't move as well as this one does. Or maybe I just got really unlucky. But the first one I got, the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movie figure that they released, he feels like he doesn't move well. He feels very, very stiff. He doesn't feel as stiff. And I'm curious. They said something about new... I heard a lot of people being like, this is just a repaint. But they specifically said when they announced this guy, new tooling. I think it's here. I think, of course, you had to change certain aspects. But I think this part here is different. I can't promise that 100%, but I feel like because they had to do the spider and the spider is raised, that this may look the same in terms of these two parts right here. They probably look almost exactly the same. It's probably very little when you look at the two that make any difference. But I'm wondering if the difference is in here. Like, in here. Because he feels like he moves way, way better than the other one did. And I don't know if I know I'm not imagining that. In terms of the one that I own, he moves better. What do I feel like the Motu movie will be diluted considering what we've got with Lord of the Rings, Jackson movies, and again on Earth? Really, really, did GOTG teach you nothing about not being on Earth? Yes. Yeah, they mentioned the torso is new because the Spider-Man emblem was raised in the movies. Everything else, though, is reuse. And yeah, it makes sense to me. But I feel like there's something on the inside that we can't see. Like they knew they screwed up the last one. And like they perfected that inside a little bit better. Because he moves better. I'm telling you, he moves better. Like there's no doubt in my mind. And I could have just got unlucky. That's always a possibility when you talk about like figures, when you say, oh, well, this figure is garbage or something like that. You also got to understand that QC, even in the most extreme lines, even in the best lines, there's always the possibility that you get the dud. Like, and it's not necessarily like, yeah, it makes you mad, I guess, but it's not really somebody's fault either. It's not like somebody purposely was like, oh, well, let's sell a bad one. Like, because 50 different people can get fantastic figures. And you could be the lucky guy that got him with the gummy head and, like, it won't move. And if you turn the neck too much, it pops. Like, that sucks. But you can be the one with the bad figure, not necessarily that the figure production was bad. But I don't know. Like, I don't have an actual answer in that aspect. Jada hasn't won one of these for a while. But it looks like we're moving in that direction. What do we got right now? Looks like we got 7 people watching. Oh, I was right. Okay, so I'm looking at it. I'm going to have to fix it, and I'm curious how these videos are going to turn out when I cut them into segments. But it looks like my bitrate is low, like way lower than we're used to producing. because my stuff messed up at the start and I had to fix it. Because of that, it looks like my bitrate should have been way, way higher. We're running somewhere around 3,000. And normally I run somewhere around like 58 or 6,000. Sometimes higher than that, I think. And now I'm looking at some of my stuff here, and it looks like it is making a difference in terms of my picture quality and stuff like that. So not the best one of these streams that we've ever done, but I think that's okay. I think that we'll get over it. Looks like Jada won, and I can fix the bit rate on the next one of these. But since Jada won, let's go ahead and set that up real quick. What do I have? Okay. Let's see. And then let's also look at oh, cool. Nope, no, it's not just a storm in your area. It was when everything messed up. I had to set everything from memory, and I couldn't remember what my bit rate was the last time that we did one of these. So I messed up when I was setting things up, and I set my bit rate way, way too low. And I don't think that I can fix it midstream. No, I cannot. Yeah. Well, hold on. Because we should be... I'm going to see if this lets me fix it midstream. I don't know if that's going to actually work because we're midstream and it may not let me actually fix my output like that. It might. It looks like it's playing crazy with me now because I did that though. We'll see. We'll see if it actually makes a difference. I think yeah, it looks like it's trying, but it looks like it's playing crazy now. Yeah, I don't know. Yep, it's going crazy on me now. Now I'm getting a whole bunch of stuff. Let's see. Hey, Bill, have you heard anything about your maximum spot? No, still nothing. Still nothing. And yeah, I'm noticing that now I'm getting like crazy hiccups and everything like that because I was looking at it and I don't know if it's fixing or if it's getting worse, in all honesty. I think this stream is somewhat damaged because of it. So, look, normally I don't do this, but because of technical difficulties, we are going to cut the stream tonight And this is actually fine because I can get back on here